Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon, dear students. So here we are going to start with another novel, that is Around the World in 80 Days. In the previous lecture, 4.3. Okay, and this is the part one of this novel. So in this part one, we will see the introduction part, characters, theme, plot, and synopsis of the extract. Okay, so here is the author Jules Verne, the author of the novel Around the World in 80 Days. Okay, now moving further, we will see the introduction part. So, Jules Gabriel Verne was basically born in the year of 1828 and was dead in the year of 1905. And he was a French novelist, poet also, and playwright at the same time. And Verne wrote widely popular series of adventure novels, which included Journey to the Center of the Earth, and that was written in the year of 1864, and then 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and that was written in the year of 1870. And then he also had written as the one which we are discussing right now, Around the World in 80 Days, and that was particularly written in the year of 1873. Then Verne is generally considered a major literary author in France and most of Europe. Okay, and Verne has been that second most translated author in the world. So what does it mean? Means there are authors whose writings have been translated into so many languages. So in that list, he comes second. He was the second most translated writers, okay, in the world. Now, moving towards the characters, so there are some major characters and at the same time minor characters. Okay, so right now we will just see the names of the characters, but as we proceed further with the story, with the plot, with the summary, so we will get familiar with the characters and we will actually see how exactly the all the characters are. Of the story, the whole story, the novel is Phileas Fogg. Okay, and then Passepartout and Oda and Detective Fix. These are the major characters, and then comes the minor characters: Sir Francis Cromarty, John Bunsby, the Reform Club members, the Parsi Guide, Colonel Stamp Proctor, then Mr. Comerfield, Mr. Mandyboy, Elder William Hitch, Mudge, and Captain Speedy. These are the minor characters, and on the left hand side, these are the major characters. Okay, now moving forward, the theme. So the novel is full of adventure and the excitement which the readers come across and enjoy from the beginning to the end. So basically what he's saying in this, that this novel is basically based on adventure and a lot of excitement. When the readers reads it, they enjoy it thoroughly. Since from the beginning till the end, the readers will enjoy reading it. Phileas Fogg, the major character in the novel, accepts the challenge to go around the world in 80 days, and in accomplishing this feat, he goes through various lands and meets with diverse adventures. So basically, as we discussed, the major character means the protagonist of the story is Phileas Fogg, right? So he basically accepted the challenge. Okay, and which kind of a challenge? The challenge was about to go around the world in 80 days. Okay, and while accomplishing that challenge, he had gone through a lot of different places, lands, and at the same time met with diverse adventures. So that's what the whole experience has been explained in it. Thus, the novel proceeds at a fast pace, and there is always some excitement resulting from the various encounters. So, as you know, it was. And at the same time the readers enjoys all the exciting things whatever was happening. The beauty of the novel is that the writer takes the readers to a journey of many hair-raising incidents and exciting adventures, thrilling yet beautiful places in the world. So what is basically the beauty of this novel is, like the writer takes the readers on a beautiful journey. Like obviously when we read something, we start imagining that thing, and especially if the writing is just perfect, if the writer has done the work properly, it will automatically start coming in our imagination, in our mind. Whatever the things are going on in story, everything will be going on in our mind. The whole, scenario, the whole view, the whole environments will be there in front of our eyes, through our imagination. So that's what the writer takes us to the, to the journey, a beautiful journey of adventure, where he met with lot of different things and people and many more things, which is beautiful at the same time but thrilling also. The most important feature of this adventure novel is time. It illustrates repeatedly that time is fickle. Fickle means something which is changeable. Okay, something like, which of which there is no assurance or something like that. So what he's saying, that what is the most important thing that have been discussed in this novel is about time, which is fickle. Obviously, it doesn't matter how rich or how poor you are, or like, from which background do you belong. That doesn't matter at all, right? Because the time is same for everyone. It's just that it's not going, the main thing that we need to understand, or what he made us understand through this novel, is the time realize later, and either works for or against them. In many cases, time foils their plans when the delays build up and ships and trains leave without them, that sometimes land the characters in trouble. So that's what he's saying, that, the time which played most important role in this whole novel, uh, in his journey basically. So what he's saying, that the time played important role, and sometimes that, the time destroyed also some of the things, or like, the things went wrong also because of the time issues, or like, due to that. But and sometimes, the trains left, or like the ships left without picking them up. So that was a bit kind of a trouble for the characters sometimes. In the end, Fogg wins the best bet, as he gained a day when crossing the international date line. So while, when he was crossing the international date line, he earned one day in that. Okay, and just because of earning one more day, he won the bet. And then the ultimate message is that no one can control time. Time will work the way it wants to work, and humans are at its mercy. Obviously, what we will learn through this, that the ultimate message that basically he had given in it is the time, we cannot control it. Instead, time controls everything. And that's what he is trying to express here. Before his journey around the world, Fogg lived a solitary life. Solitary life means, like, to live alone. Like, that kind of a life, Fogg basically lived. He closed himself, and that was his life before starting with this journey. Okay, and then he closed himself off to the importance of human connections, both in the form of love with Oda and friendship and loyalty with Passepartout. So now what he's saying here, he lived a solitary life, as we discussed. Okay, so he cared very little about others, and, about the other things at the same time. And he was very much, less bothered about what people thinks of him, or what they, which kind of a perception they hold for him. So he never cared about all those stuff. But by the end of this trip, when the journey of 80 days was about to end, then he realized the importance of people around him. And especially, he found his love in Oda, and the friendship and loyalty he found in Passepartout, basically, who became his best friend later, and before ending up with the journey. Above all, this new understanding and appreciation is the greatest thing he has gained from this trip. So, basically, above everything, these are the two major things that he had gained through this whole journey. Though he has the opportunity to double his fortune, Fogg's motivation to embark on such a crazy adventure has little to do with the money. So, basically, what he is saying, he had an opportunity, of what, of making his fortune double. Okay, and what was Fogg's motivation? It was, to embark on this crazy journey, is the it was not about the money. As as we will proceed further with the story, we will realize it that he was not the greedy person or someone like that. He did not go on the trip or on the journey because he will get to double his money or something like that. No, he went just because he wanted to do that, or like that adventure. Okay, that crazy adventure. Instead, he wants to preserve his honor and prove his worth to the men of the Reform Club. So basically, this challenge from whom he received from the member of a Reform Club, right? So basically, he wanted to show that he wanted to preserve his honor, and what he wanted to prove, he wanted to show his worth, and he wanted to show that the member of a Reform Club, his worth, to show that he can do what he sets out to do. And what he exactly wanted to show him, that whatever he sets to do, he will do that. And that's what he have shown. Fox spends nearly all of his money along the way, showing that riches are not what he is truly out for. So now what he's saying here, that almost all of his money he spent on this journey. And for Phileas Fogg, honor is more important than money. And what he has shown in it, that money is not that important for Fogg. It is the honor which matters to him. So that's what he have clearly shown in it. Throughout the entire trip, Fogg and his group encounter various obstacles standing in their way. These challenges allow them to use their quick thinking to come up with innovative solutions to even the most complicated of problems, relaying the message that no problem is unsolvable. So now what as they were proceeding with their journey, visiting the different places and coming, obviously if we are on a journey, we will obviously see the obstacles also. There will be some hurdles also waiting in our way, and that's what the same thing happened with the Fog also. So what as the problems were coming, they were dealing with all the issues, with all us, that there is no problem which we cannot solve. There is no such issues which is unsolvable, and that's what we will learn through this. And then after that, what he is saying here, yeah, relaying the message that no problem is unsolvable. Then it is not only Fogg who shows his clever wit in coming up with solutions. Passepartout too shows his integrity in multiple situations. So it's not just about Fogg, but Passepartout also, he had also shown that the kind of intelligent thinking also he has shown. Now moving towards the plot. Around the World in 80 Days begins at the Reform Club in England with Phileas Fogg, Thomas Flanagan, and Samuel Farlington, and John Sullivan sitting by a fireplace reading newspapers. So basically, this novel starts while some of the people, the members of the Reform Club, are sitting in England. Okay, where the Phileas Fogg was also there, the major character, and they were sitting around the fire and were reading the newspaper. There were some other characters also. We are introduced to Fogg, a very precise man who regularly goes to the Reform Club every evening. So basically, in a very short way, we have been introduced with the major character who used to go to the Reform Club every evening. Okay, at the Reform Club, Fogg, Flanagan, and Valentin and Sullivan are talking about a recent bank robbery. So basically, they were talking about the bank robbery which recently took place. This conversation leads to a vague. Fogg is quite sure he can travel around. Think Fogg is not considering the unexpected. All of the men accepts the wager for £20,000. So now what happened basically, while discussing about the recent bank robbery, the topic came about the Fog saying that I think I can travel around the world in 80 days. And then they did not believe him, that like they were like, no, it's not possible, or like you cannot travel the whole world, or like the around the world in 80 days. That's what they were somewhere, the contradictory statements or the contradictory thinkings were there. This is the beginning of the entire plot, and from then on, we see how Fogg goes around the world and we witness the amazing adventures that he has with his companions. Then, this is the beginning of the whole plot, okay, where the Fogg goes around the world and we will witness the amazing adventures. Not only he will be there, but his companions will also be there with him. The main plot is based on Fogg's travels, while other such plots merely support the central theme. And most of the things are based on his traveling only. Okay, Fix the detective follows Fogg all over. He believes that Fogg is bank robber who has robbed a great sum from the Bank of England. He puts obstacles in Fogg's path just so that he can arrest him whenever he gets the warrant from England. Now, while doing this journey, while embarking on this journey, also there was a detective who was always there behind him, behind the Fog. He followed Fog everywhere, and what the detective believed, he thought that he is a robber, and the robbery which took place in England's bank. So that who did that, but what detective thinks, that that bank robbery has been done by the Fog. Okay, and that's why he follows him everywhere. Wherever Fog goes, he's there behind him. And why is there behind him? Because what he's planning to do is, whenever he gets the warrant, he will arrest Fog because of that robbery. He puts obstacles in Fogg's path just so that he can be arrested whenever he gets a warrant from England. The suspicion that Fogg might be a clever gentleman robber is the sub theme of the book, and the author makes the reader also suspicious. And the it is a subplot. The concept of robbery, or the concept of, is he the robber or something, that is a subplot, that is not the main plot. The main plot about the journey of Fog around the world, okay. But throughout the novel, it makes the it makes very suspicious that the readers will even be confused, that is he really the robber or not, or is he just a clever man, or what exactly the thing is. So it will make the whole story suspicious. Then Passepartout wonders whether his master might be a robber, though in his heart he has ample trust in Fogg's integrity. Now his friend Passepartout, basically he was confused somewhere, or thought for a while, is his master really a robber? Then he thought no, there was a lot of trust in his heart for his master, and that's what he believed in, his integrity. The plot moves ahead with Fox striving through various obstacles to reach London in time. Then he goes through Brindisi, Seoul, Bombay, New York, and finally Liverpool. So these are the places which he traveled while he was in his on his journey. And then Fix arrest Fogg at Liverpool, and this delays Fogg a bit. Now, finally, there was a person who was in search of him, or was trying to arrest him to Fogg. So basically, now in Liverpool, finally he arrested him. Okay, and because of this getting arrested, his schedule got a bit delayed, and then what happened due to that, he thinks that he has missed the deadline and hasn't reached London in time, when in reality he reached a full day earlier. So now what basically he thought, as he got arrested, so what he thought, now his plan got delayed and I am unable to reach or to complete the deadline, or to complete my task before the deadline. That's what he thought, and he thought, I am late one day or something, a full day late I reached. That's what he thought, but in reality it was different, it was not real. And what was the reality? Basically, he reached full day earlier. Okay, thus Fogg wins the wager, and in the course of his travels find himself a worthy, charming, beautiful wife too. But he won the challenge, and while traveling only, he found the worthy, charming, and beautiful wife also for himself. And then the synopsis of the extract. As soon as Fogg, Oda, and Passepartout arrive in Liverpool, Fix arrest Fogg. So, as we just discussed, that he got arrested there in Liverpool, Phileas is thrown in jail. Several hours later, through Fix learns and another man was responsible for the bank robbery. So basically, what happened when he got arrested, he had been thrown in the jail. Who? Phileas. Okay, Fogg, basically Phileas Fogg. So he had been thrown in the jail. Okay, and then the Fix who arrested him, what he came to learn, that there is some other man behind that robbery, not Fogg. So then he released him, and then they went. Then he went out after getting released, and then the he ordered, or the special train for himself, and then he arrived in London late, a bit late. As per his plan, it was a bit late, and then it made everyone disappointed. All three of them, they were quite disturbed and disappointed, because what they thought, they have arrived late. Phileas and company are now broke. The deadline for the best has passed. For the bet has passed, and there is nothing to do but go home and pout. Phileas lock himself in his room and for the first time allows himself to be seriously depressed. Now what happened? You know, Phileas and his company, they were completely broke, and they were like, they were unable to complete the task within the deadline, and they did not complete the task, and they are not passed in that. So they were completely disappointed with themselves only. So Phileas locked himself in a room. Okay, and that was for the first time that he allowed himself to be seriously depressed. Okay, and then Oda and Passepartout are so worried that they can't eat or sleep, and even the other two companions of him, that is Oda and Passepartout, both of them also, they were unable to eat or sleep. The following evening, Fogg apologizes to Oda for being unable to provide for her comfort as a result of losing the bet. He runs off to get a revenge to marry Fogg and Oda the next day, which they all think is Monday. Now, so what happened? Basically, the following evening only, Fogg went to Oda and he asked for the forgiveness and he apologized from her. Why? Because what he thought, that he couldn't provide the comfort to her because of losing this bet. So instead of saying something else, or like talking about all those failure or something like that, what she replied, instead of talking about that bet or something, she proposed him for the marriage, and then he obviously joyfully he agreed. Okay, and then they were about to get married. Okay, and then Fogg and Oda, the next day, which they were thinking was Monday, as they thought that it is going to be Monday. While running to grab the nearest preacher to marry Phileas and Oda, Passepartout finds out that it's actually Sunday, not Monday, like the group has been thinking. So basically, he went to find the preacher, basically by whose help they will get married, the Oda and the Fogg. So when he went to find the preacher, the nearest preacher, so then he realized that it's not Monday actually. What they were thinking, that it is Monday, but it was not Monday, it was Sunday. And by traveling eastward around the world, Phileas Fogg, master calculator and obsessive organizer, has forgotten the time he has gained by journeying through all these time zones. So now what he realized, while traveling eastward around the world, Phileas Fogg and even the master calculator, they forgot the day and the date. Time zones had gained them a day, and that they are not at all late. So because of that journey through the time zone, they had gained one more day, and that they didn't realize. And then it was actually being disclosed that they had earned one more day and they are not late at all. Passepartout races home, grabs Phileas by the collar, shoves him into a cab, and deposits him at the club. Phileas presents himself for the minutes to spare and effectively wins the bet. He is rich once more. But more important, as he says to himself, he has won the heart of a charming woman. So now basically what happened? As the Passepartout realized that they had earned one more day, so then he ran towards the house, and he grabbed Fogg through his collar, and then they came back to the club. Okay, and then they finally deposits him, and what they came to know that they finally won the bet, and he is again, once more he's again rich. It's as previously they came to know that he is they are going to double his amount if he wins the bet. But here he is not talking in that sense. It's not about the wealth, it's not about the money that he's talking, that he's rich again, but it's because of why he's saying he's rich once more. But more important, as he says to himself, he has won the heart of a charming woman. It's not because he won the money, but he won the heart of a charming woman, and that's why he's calling himself rich. So I hope you must have understand what I have explained. So in the upcoming lecture, we will discuss about several chapters, okay, from which we have to deal with certain chapters. We are not going to deal with all the chapters as per your textbook. There are 3 chapters, I guess, which we will be dealing in the upcoming lecture. So I hope you have understood everything. Thank you so much.